Rudolph R&R. Alright, so now to Mom Christina's question. Why sometimes there are many holes? Okay, why they have many holes that you see of, I do not know. But I can tell you why we would want to make more than one hole in a box, okay, if you are doing a certain system. So this system is what we call the three-tiered system. Now the idea of the first tier, right? Tier 1 is the topping, which we call the topping, which is done, you can see there, the lock is down there and you have a topping box, right? So the topping box, most of the time is not too high, yeah? Okay, the idea is that so that the brood that is in here, okay, goes up into here and it forms those storage pots, hopefully of honey. Sometimes it's not of honey. Sometimes some are honey, some are pollen, right? So, but sometimes if you cut too low, instead of going up to do honey, what it goes up to do is continuation of the brood. Or if it's clustered, it's like you have some more brood inside there. Then when you open, where's the honey? I want honey. Okay? So that's the reason you don't want to cut too much. Okay? Just cut a little bit, let it go up. Alright? Then when you line inside with what you have this, where it's pollen and propolis, right? You line it inside there, then they have an idea of, oh, my master wants me to do some honey here. Okay? So that's the whole idea of having the attractant. Yeah? Okay. Now, if in some occasions, okay, they've already filled up with brood, all right? So you add another box in the hope of they come up here and build the honey pots. Okay? So what happens is sometimes they still go up and build the brood. You know why? Because the first box, okay, maybe you have the hole in the center, right? So they go up and they build the brood. Okay. Now to avoid them continuing up with the brood, the next box, close. Okay. Don't do it in the center anymore. If you do it in the center, it will just continue in the brood. All right. So what you can do is do it at the corner. So, what's going to happen is, it doesn't matter whether they're going to build the brood or not, okay? Even if they build the brood here, okay, this is already another brood with another involucrum, and this will be another brood. Which means, if there's one queen here, there's another queen here. So when you have another queen here, let's take this one, you have another queen here, right? Okay, one queen here and one queen here. Now, then you put another box. If they do the honey, and you have brood here with the honey with the pots, you can then just take this off. Okay, you have a new colony. All right, without disturbing the original. So that is three-tiered system of splitting, multiplying, the safest. All right, so you just keep on adding boxes. All right, now UP have done that in Mahai High. They've been adding like 4 or 5 tiers, you know, and they're getting honey, lots and lots of honey. And I don't know why no one on this side is doing that, because I keep hearing, oh, I learned from UPLB, I buy UPLB boxes, But when UPLB is innovating to 4 or 5 tiers, how come none of you are doing it? Has that not been decimated here?
Yes. When we were training in UPLB, they were teaching us to transfer the brood into the UPLB hive box. And then when we divide, we just split it in the middle. Not like what we're teaching.
Ready?
Yeah, okay.
Not disseminate.
Bear in mind, I am teaching you what is practiced in Malaysia. So sorry, I'm not here to, how we say, encroach into anyone else's, because there may be some, I don't want that, right? So this is a technique where you have a choice of following. And you can try. It may work with B-Roy, it may not work with B-Roy. I'm not the B-Roy expert, okay? But I can tell you, I've been doing this for more than 12 years. So, sounds logical. So, that's how we normally work with, yeah? We go with logical and common sense.
Thinking outside the box and create
So if the first, so if you put the hole in the corner of the second layer, where do you put the hole of the third layer?
Put the what?
The hole of the third layer.
You can already go back to the center. Or you can go the other corner.
Okay.
Because as long as they can go up. Or you can even make slits on the side. The idea is to get away from the advancing front. You know, as they build the brood, we call it the advancing front. So you want to get away from the advancing front. So, coming back to the, let me finish the question first, yeah? So, when we do this, right? So you understand this three-tiered thing, right? So when we do this, if we intend to later split this safely, right? You must realize, where are the bees coming in and out? Right? So what we do is, we prepare holes in every box. Okay? Now, we do not know which hole they're going to use. We don't know. After making the holes, we close it with propolis. Only close the holes with propolis, nothing else. No matter how thick your propolis is, you close, they can open. Anything else, they can't. Right? So you close all the 3 holes with propolis, let them choose. They know better, they will decide which one they want to use, they will do that. So that is to answer mom's question, right? Other than this system, if they're putting many holes, I do not know why. I can't answer you. This is the only reason we would do it.
Should the holes be on the same side, or it doesn't matter?
Preferably the orientation that you're doing. If it's facing the east, face the east. You know? Any question?
If the bees try to open the 2 holes, it's okay.
To them.
It's
They
that's
know.
their.
manage.
Yeah.
They know best.
They know best. They want to open 3 holes. They know best. Then from there, when they are already active, after 2 months, then you can go and check which one is the one having the brood, which one having the honey, which one having the pollen. Then if the brood and honey is in the top adjacent levels, you can take those 2 out. So that's a new one. Then you can put a new empty box. You know, and you can keep on going. Okay, but there's no guarantee of the time period. I've done one for over a period of 3 years and only get one new colony, because after taking that one, I put a new box. They are kind of lazy. Maybe it's the older generation and the new generation have different, you know. But at least I get one extra, you know, and both are doing well with queens. That's the thing.
Ibang turo sa UP.
Iba yun. That is close.
Eduction. After this, we're going to talk about eduction. Any more questions on this? Any? Yes.
I may just share, maybe someone also did it. No? I had an experiment. It's very common when we propagate our colony. We use the lower portion of the box to put the eggs. If you want to split, you put eggs manually with the pollen and the honey, and then you cover it like 2 layers already. If you want to split your colony, I tried 3 layers, but I put the eggs in the middle of the box, not the bottom box, and I put the honey and pollen. In 2 months' time, they used to host the middle and the lower, and they are equally strong, but the other one is on the other side, and the other one is on the other side. And so my conclusion there is there's 2 queens in just 2 months. They are equally
Possible.
and I think and I will keep doing it because I find it very productive.
You see, that can happen because there is sufficient compartments for the queens to survive. Right. Otherwise, the older queen will chase off the younger queen. Right. And sometimes the way they kill off each other is by decapitating.
So they just maybe divide their room.
Okay?
Another question.
Yeah.
The cover.
Yeah, the cover is just normal as what you would cover, whether it's first tier or second tier or third tier, the same cover.
It's
You can have a plastic this. When you're going to add another one, you remove the plastic and you just add.
does it have to be like a machine or just like a cover
Okay,
for the ring?
having the shape, let me tell you about it, yeah? Okay, okay. Let's see now.
Try another one. Kasi nga malaki yung room for expansion.
All right, Mom Pinky was asking the roof shape. You know, how should the roof be? Now you can just have. Sally, we're talking about the roof, yeah, the cover, yeah. See, you can have just a cover, close it like that. It's no problem as long as it doesn't get any rain. Okay. Now, why you want to think about elaborating on the cover is because this cover will have only this area of heat dissipation. Whatever heat inside is going to dissipate here. Alright? So it's only this surface area. Now, if I do this, what am I getting? I'm getting double, isn't it? So that's why we do this. So you get a better dissipation, faster dissipation of heat.
So that's why it's better.
Yes. Okay? Any other questions?
Our ring and our air is horizontal. It's just like a mist. So that should be good.
A mist?
It's like our rain, it's horizontal rain because it's wind and then it's not like
They like it, I think, because they prefer misty conditions. You know why? Because it's humid. They prefer humid. Then they don't have to go foraging for water.
but
No.
their hive won't get there.
Well, if the location is right in the midst of things, they might get wet. You know. But if the sun comes out timely enough, so you get a cycle of mist, sun, that's natural to them. Yeah. Okay, why we need to prepare some water for them is they do require some. In nature, they get fog and mist and dew, right, which they collect from. It's just that if it's too dry and there's no water at all, they will go to animal excreta, you know, poop, dirty water, drains, okay? And the thought of it, them coming back to the hive.
Yeah, that's why the location of the meliponiary is very important.
Yes. Okay, you want to keep it as clean as possible.
Your area.
Okay? So at least we have a better understanding now Okay, let's talk about eduction. What is eduction all about?
Kaya pala, yung mga purpose na sa lalagyan, parang hindi niya i-purpose.
Bubuksan mo.
Okay.
Para makita mo ilalim.
So makita ko yung ilalim.
Makita mo ilalim. Flat. Wala doon yung puso.
Again, I have to draw it out and explain to you because we don't have enough to see. Eduction, not education or induction is different. This is eduction. Eduction is the drawing out. Yeah? Drawing out of any core, okay, for the purpose of expansion or for the purpose of multiplication in this case. So how do we draw them out? Why do we want to draw them out? Okay, we want to draw them out when they built in the walls, in the cement, in the foundation, in the door jambs, you know, where you can't break down the door, and, you know. So you, yeah. So you want to deduct them out, or sometimes even in the ground you find them, you want to deduct them out. So the way of doing things is similarly, you can also use the attractant, yeah, or you just have a box. Let's assume that this is a wall of rubble wall. And sometimes in the rubble wall there may be some stingless bees. Alright? So they are in the rubble wall. How do you draw them out? Okay? So I don't know whether you've seen, well, we could just make boxes. Either you attach tubes to this box, you have another hole here, where they would have to travel. You're forcing them to travel the cavity of this box, right? Or it can even be a plastic mineral bottle and you just attach that mouth to mouth and it can come out the back, where you attach a rubber tube. There was a question about the rubber tube, why you want to have a rubber tube. So that rubber tube is to facilitate, yeah, the movement from inside the wall into the new container and then out. Okay. Now what happens is, if you look at this, okay, this would be the box. So maybe you have your rubber tube here, right? And from the wall, maybe you have another tube going in, or you can even place the box directly to the exit or the entrance of the hive, right? So what I recommend is always have it a distance away from the bottom of the floor. Many a times, if you have your hole down here and your exit down here, they will just make a tunnel. From propolis, they make a tunnel and they don't use the cavity at all. Many times. So, what happens if you put it up here, chances are they will make also the tunnel, go down here and come up here. Okay? So what you want to do is, you want to encourage them. So use this or propolis. Try not to use honey because honey is going to invite ants. Right? I've done a couple earlier on, you know, instead of having a single beehive, I have an ant's nest inside here. You know? And the bees make a separate exit from here and go out. They don't even use this. Right? So always try to use this, right? Line it inside the box, okay? Then your hole, maybe midway, you know, then they will use, if God willing, they will use the box. So that is basically
Not the guarantee.
induction, alright? So remember, induction is just adding an extra container, but with an attractant inside to encourage them. So you can have as many induction. So the people in Awis, where the 70-year-old ancestral home has 109 hives, asking me, how do we take this out? You know, I said, do induction. 109. Yeah, 100 it is. Well, one for each, you know. So sometimes, you know, the number of things overwhelm us. Wow, 100.
The bees invaded the human colony.
No, I don't know whether you've been to Balai Buhay. It's quite impressive that she has 3,000 hives. Yeah, I bet she started with one. It cannot be she started with 2,999, right? So it started with one, then two, then I don't know, maybe multiples of 10 or whatever. Yeah, but it had to start with one. You don't start, you will never get there. Okay? Of course, the sound 3,000, my God. You know, how are you going to harvest? Who's going to take care of it? How many plants do you require? Just one hive will require something like 50 plants of flowers to get 1 tablespoon of honey, right? Now you have 3,000 hives. And if each hive has 10,000 occupants, 10,000 population, you times 3,000, how much is that? 3 billion bees. How do you feed 3 billion bees? It's unfathomable, kan? But they're doing it. Start one step at a time. And I bet she started with one hive and planted one plant at a time. Oh, it's a beautiful place. I must admit, it really impressed me. And I would suggest anyone who wants to aspire to that kind of volume, go visit her and check it out. Very good. My compliments to her. And not a single one is as close as what you have here. Everything is like, am I right? It's 1 meter, even like Christina was mentioning, it's 1 meter apart, more than 1 meter apart.
I did that with group so they can see the pattern. I was waiting for the seminar to
To make 6,000.
Well, we have in Malaysia also these people in Sarawak. Now in Sarawak they have this Native Land Act, so they have freedom to take whatever they want. And there's this group of corporate big guns who's got the funds. They have something like 7,000 hives of Itama in an acacia forest. Okay. Wow, it sounds fantastic. 7,000 hives. They have it in 40 different stations. Okay. But when I talk to the workers, okay, I talk to the people really doing it, they're getting 20% failures, dead colonies a month. A month. There is 140 hives that dies off every month. And here you get 140 hives. Oh, thank God. So what's happening is, okay, I went in and really pose some questions to the workers, and what's happening is the owners have booked a stretch of land of 12 kilometers long of native land, and they have commissioned all the hive hunters in that area must only supply to them and nowhere else.
Monopoly.
So they are getting like 150 hives a month,
To complement the ano.
and 140 is dying every month.
Just to complement the ano.
Just so that they can go around saying, I got 7,000 hives. How much do you have? So, I mean, yeah, this is what's happening. This is reality, right? But if you want to do it, I'm sure you can. But you got to go step by step and make sure it comes in concurrently, meaning the foraging source and the hive. You add hive, you add foraging source. You add foraging source, then you add hive. You know, that kind of sequence. Then you can come. Because either way, if you come with 2,000 hives, even 1,000 hives, you don't have the foraging source. There's no time for you to build. To plant an annual, it takes you 3 months for it to flower. That's the fastest annual they can give you, 3 months. Now in 3 months, you don't know how many would have died. See? So you have to start, maybe 5, one bed of flowers, you know? Another 5, another bed of flowers. Now you go that way, then it's possible. Okay? Just like Pia's garden. It's beautiful. That is Beescape. Okay, Beescape. Time for Beescape. Time for Beescape? Beescape. Okay, what is Beescape?
It's 3 o'clock.
Right. Huh?
3 o'clock. We eat pancit at 3 o'clock.
Now,
Yes, it's a Catholic tradition. Pancit.
For long life.
Let him continue while we eat. I think it's so interesting.
Working